Hello Man United fans. Welcome to Manchester United football. Maguire's move to West Ham collapses. Love Maguire or loathe him, that his £30 million transfer to West Ham has collapsed is not his making. Blame Ed Woodward and Ole Gunnar Solskjear who gave him the humongous salary. He didn't give himself his weekly wage, he didn't make any recommendations to the club regarding his salary. In fact, he had no contributions of any kind whatsoever. The club has a habit of paying too much for average players and then pay them too much salary. Fred was £52 million and sold for a paltry £13 million. Phil Jones earned £80,000 every week for 4 years and hardly kicked a ball. Jadon Sancho is the highest or second highest earner at the club at £350,000 a week for being less than average. Maguire is just a victim of this. He has 2 years left on his contract, and if the club are terminating, he has a right to demand the salary of the remainder of his contract, and the club should pay him before he leaves. I cannot for good conscience blame him for asking for what is rightfully his from the club. This is contractual obligation. Inasmuch as I think that he's not good enough for Manchester United and that he should be moved on, a better replacement is brought in to strengthen our backline, but the club have to pay up. Even as we speak, the club have not learned any lesson from this situation they created. Say, for example, Mason Mount was bought in this transfer window for £55 million, which to me is utter nonsense because he's not worth it. It's too much for a player who had 1 year left on his contract, a player who Chelsea were no more playing, a player who is no more an England international. As if this transfer fee is not bad enough, the club is paying him a weekly wage of £200,000. This is from the reported £80,000 weekly wage he was on at Chelsea. From simple calculation, this is an upgrade of £120,000. No one knows if this transfer would work out well for him and the club. But if it doesn't work out well, what happens? It means the club will find itself in this kind of Maguire situation again. It's only West Ham who were ready to buy Maguire. No other club have been interested in him, not even Saudi Pro League. Let's be honest, he is not good enough for a top 6 club in the Premiership. The club have not shown any wisdom in the transfer market since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. It has been from one bad deal to the other. Each year, they keep outdoing themselves from a cluster of bad deals to another, from giving too big salaries to too many average and sometimes less than average players. This average transfer business is still at play today at the club, and not until the club put round pegs in round holes in the transfer department. The amateurs in John Murtough and his colleagues will continue to bring the club backwards in terms of playing staff. Maguire is not good enough in any sense for the club, he's too slow, he's too sluggish. I want him to leave the club, but ironically, the club are holding him back from leaving the club. Fans, what has been said so far is the opinion of the admin of this YouTube channel. You should leave your opinion in the comment section of this channel. Now, on to the news. Erik ten Hag is unlikely to sign Benjamin Pavard from Bayern Munich if Harry Maguire remains a Manchester United player. Maguire's proposed transfer to West Ham has stalled because United are struggling to agree a payoff with the Englishman, who has 2 years left on his contract. He currently earns around £190,000 a week, and the Hammers are unwilling to match that salary. As such, United will need to agree a payoff with the 30-year-old or continue to pay a chunk of his salary for the move to go ahead. It's believed he could be owed £10 million in wages. United have accepted a £30 million bid from West Ham for Maguire, who is happy to make the switch if his wages are covered. Pavard has entered the final year of his contract and is thought to be available for a figure between £30 million and £35 million. Pavard is said to be keen on joining ten Hag's squad. The World Cup winner reacted to a picture on Instagram of Raphael Varane's winner for United against Wolves on Monday night with the flame emoji, adding to the speculation. There is still hope that Maguire's move to West Ham could be revived. But the Hammers won't wait around for the defender and are looking at other targets. There's also a good chance another Premier League club could come in for Maguire, who remains a regular at international level. Yet he will need to play more consistently if he's to make Gareth Southgate's England squad for next summer's Euros in Germany. Maguire started just 8 Premier League games last season and was an unused substitute during the 1-0 victory against Wolves. The centre-back's future at Old Trafford has looked in doubt ever since ten Hag stripped him of the captaincy earlier this summer. Andre Onana has revealed Erik ten Hag delivered a strong message to Manchester United's players at halftime in their 1-0 win against Wolves. United welcomed Wolves to Old Trafford for their opening game of the Premier League season, and they were heavy favourites to win, especially since the opposition had parted ways with Julian Lopetegui just last week. Wolves were thrown into disarray by the departure of Lopetegui, but they started the game impressively with Gary O'Neill in charge, and they were unfortunate not to be leading at halftime after wasting 2 chances. The first 45 minutes certainly didn't go as planned for United, and Ten Hag gave his players a strong warning during his halftime team talk, according to new signing Onana, who talked to reporters in the mixed zone after the game. Onana was asked about the message in the dressing room at the interval, and he admitted Ten Hag was strong with his instructions. He gave a strong message inside the dressing room. He said, "We have to remember what is important, the meaning of the first goal. If you score an early goal in the second half, it's easier," Onana said. He told us to keep the ball and to control the game. We had to be there for the right moment, and I'm very happy the moment came with Rafa Varane. He did a fantastic job and he was there to score. We have a win because of Rafa today. Onana added, "A clean sheet is not just for me, it's for all of us. It's the defense, the midfield and strikers, that shows how strong we are defending. It was brilliant defending. I am really pleased with what we've done. It was nice to win the game, and we have to look forward at some important games ahead." Erik ten Hag is happy for Harry Maguire to stay at Old Trafford after seeing his Manchester United exit fall through. The former Red Devils captain looked to be on the way out of the club after West Ham United had a bid accepted for his services. Hammers boss David Moyes confirmed that an agreement had been found between the two clubs but remained tight-lipped on the progress of the deal. He said, "We've had a bid accepted from Manchester United, but while he's not our player, I'm not in a position to discuss him." Since then, the ball has been in Maguire's court over whether to pursue a move to the London stadium. However, it now appears that the former Leicester man will not be moving after all. According to reports, the defender's £30 million switch is in huge jeopardy after West Ham grew impatient with Maguire. It is said that he is in the midst of negotiations regarding an exit compensation package with the Red Devils and has not spoken to Moyes directly. That has seen the Hammers move their attention onto alternatives they could move for before the end of the transfer market. Players under consideration are Bayer Leverkusen pair Jonathan Tah and Odilon Kasono. That leaves Maguire in a tricky position. He looks unlikely to have a future at Old Trafford after losing the captaincy and falling out of contention under Ten Hag. However, it appears that the Red Devils boss is content for Maguire to stay after all. Speaking ahead of his side's opening day victory over Wolves, the Dutchman said, "He has to fight for his place. He has the ability to be a top-class centre-back and he is the best for England, so why shouldn't he be the best for us? But he has to prove it. When he is not confident enough to fight, then he has to go. Then he has to make a decision, but I'm happy with him." Whilst Ten Hag has already stated that he would be happy for Maguire to stay, the decision does put a buffer on any upcoming transfer business at Old Trafford. Anthony Martial made his first appearance for Manchester United in 79 days in their behind-closed-doors friendly win against Everton. An own goal and a second-half strike from Scott McTominay secured a victory for United in their lunchtime kickoff at their Carrington training complex. McTominay, Harry Maguire, Donny van de Beek, Hannibal Mejbri and Dan Gore were among United's other starters who got minutes after their Premier League campaign started with the defeat of Wolves on Monday evening. Martial last played for United as a substitute in their final league fixture of last season against Fulham on May 27 when he tore his hamstring. The 27-year-old returned to team training 3 weeks ago in San Diego, but he did not play at all during preseason, and Martial was an unused substitute against Wolves. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Arnaud Danjuma, Jared Branthwaite, Ben Godfrey and Vitaly Mykolenko all played for Everton, whose team comprised of several under-21 players. This is the 4th year running United have participated in behind-closed-doors friendlies at the start of the season. Their only friendly during the tight turnaround between campaigns in 2020 was a 1-0 defeat at Aston Villa, and United hosted Burnley at Old Trafford a year later. Wrexham and Halifax both visited Carrington for August friendlies last August, while Everton played United at Carrington in December prior to the domestic season's resumption after the World Cup. Fans, do you think Maguire is right to demand a payoff? Leave your comments below in the comment section on any of the topics discussed. If you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Till the next updates. Thank you for watching.